The Vogue Restoration Team, VRT, is a small group of volunteers who devote one day a week to tasks to restore the Vogue Theatre to its former glory. The team of about 16 workers from diverse skill backgrounds have been working most recently on a plan devised after a scientifically based assessment to improve the acoustic properties of the auditorium. In addition, the VRT has designed and built a number of renovations and additions, always in keeping with the Art Nouveau style of the original 1939 Vogue Theatre. This is a few of the projects we have done or working on over the past few years. The restoration team has a cage in the basement, also known as the dungeon, where we keep parts and components that are used in our renovation process. We looked at restoring back the large lights that were original in the Vogue and aisle lighting. We wanted to see if we could do this aesthetically and for the best price. With a plan, we started with a prototype of the tops and bottoms and also the aisle covers. These were then 3D printed. More 3D printing, this time for new aisle lighting upstairs and downstairs. LED lighting strips were purchased. This involved a great amount of wiring and testing, with the wiring done under the floor coming up through the seats. All the lights are set up using a DMX system that allows for any colour to be selected. Even the ceiling lights at the back of the theatre were changed to LED types, with the suspension frame made by the restoration team. The band pit area was set up so that all music was done through a program called Word Light and displayed onto multiple screens for the musicians. Colin Fox came and dug some holes so that we could erect signs out the front. It needed a bit of back work to get through in some spots. They look great and should get a lot of attention. Another project was to reupholster the cuddle seats, so Jeff and Gordon take on this task up in the projection room, removing the old material and fixing up the chairs prior to upholstering. Before this, these gentlemen also refurbished the upstairs general seating. We then moved on to looking at the acoustics in the Vogue, which turned out to be a major task. We contracted the services of Angelo Tullio to do an acoustic audit of the Vogue Theatre. We had to look at the projection wall upstairs and all the walls downstairs. The projection room wall was to have curtains created. So material was purchased and the team started to cut, sew and fit the curtains. Then came the big task of the royal boxes. This shows an artist's impression of what it might look like. The royal boxes are outlined in red. A sketch was made and then we designed and created a CAD drawing that was then sent to Wade Lucas from Lacom Proprietary Limited, who certified the weights and design of the royal boxes prior to starting. The steel was ordered and the front sections of each box, 6 in total, were rolled to the correct diameter. Then the first box was welded up and templates created to do the remaining boxes. Here's Dean giving us the royal wave. The plaster work was moulded in-house for all of the sections. On the last box, before installing, we all signed and added images to the inside of the bottom of the box with our nicknames. This was a long process and took about 12 months for all to be completed and erected on the walls. The last box finally going into place with a lot of satisfaction, finally all completed. Doesn't that look great? We then started on what we call the organ pipe installation. Everything was fabricated on site and painted over the previous months. Here David is levelling the plaster in the hemispherical mould trays. This is just some of the approximately 300 finished organ pipes laid out ready to be mounted on the walls. At the top of each organ pipe we have a 3D printed scroll which was copied from some of the original plasterwork in the Vogue. Behind the organ pipes are sheets of acoustic soundboard. In the school holidays, a few of our younger kids came in to help us and learnt a few valuable life lessons. Then the job of putting it all up on the wall. This is starting to look very nice, with the scrolls at the top of each organ pipe. The wall along the back of the hall downstairs has had a different type of soundproofing added. These were manufactured using timbers and soundboard. We would like to acknowledge Princey Woodworking for cutting all the pieces required to manufacture these panels, and for Gloria, who put many hours into painting most of the items produced by the restoration team for this Vogue acoustic improvement project. We then turned to the final stage. This was adding sound absorption panels to the bottom section downstairs. We originally thought we might use MDF, so we took a 3D image of some plasterwork and had it routed. This was deemed impractical, so we then created a silicone mould of the plasterwork and cast the first of many panels. Each panel then required a fair bit of cleaning up. We looked at adding a plywood backing to the castings, but that tended to flex too much. So we decided to use the soundboard as we had a lot of extra sheet that could be utilised. We talked to Jay from Stress Free Water Jet Cutting at Lonsdale. He did a test cut and said they could produce the 60 pieces that we required. So that's what we did. This is just some of them lined up in Jay's workshop. Then came the job of installing them on the walls. They will also be backlit with coloured lighting as well, like this new corner piece. Another important job was to replace the stairs to the stage. We thank David Kuhlman for the woodwork and the restoration team for fabricating and installing the new handrails. We then had to switch our focus onto the lifter, as we had a grant for this from the Mitcham Council, but it had to be installed prior to December 2025. We started with the digging and preparation, ready for the concrete pad. We had Solomon's flooring cut the carpet and place it back onto the top frame and board that we created. Bracing was added to support the extra weight on the flooring. It was then ready for the concrete, with the carpet protected well. Nearly half a cubic metre of concrete was ordered through Boral Concrete, with a mix of 40 to 20 to 80. With many wheelbarrows at the ready and a workforce ready to go, the production line begins. It was my idea to use an old wheat bag to pour it through. This stopped the mix splashing up over everything. And boy, did that work well. Barrow after barrow, after barrow, after barrow. The concrete just kept coming. The concrete is all in. Now it is time to level it. Hey Wolf, don't get stuck. Let's hope it's not quickset. The concrete pad is now finished, and after it is cured, it will be ready for the lifter to be installed. The 390 kilogram lifter is now being installed. It was lowered into the hole onto the concrete pad using two slings suspended by 2 inches. This was a very successful day after a lot of planning.
Oh, is that it?
Yep, that's it.
I thought it would have gone lower than that.
Nope. Here we go.
It was then time to test the lifter, which would be able to lift heavy objects and other items that could not be lugged up the stairs. It ends up level with the stage. Once all this testing is done, we could then bolt it down to the concrete pad. It lowered beautifully. After the carpet panel is fixed to the top of the lifter, it will sit flush with the floor. Good job done.
You get all the money though.
Oh, look at that.
Now we can clap.
The lifter itself weighs 390 kilograms and will lift up to 1,000 kilograms. Gloria and Peter preparing the morning tea for all the workers on the Wednesdays. Celebrating the 85th anniversary of the opening of the Vogue Theatre on the 12th of July 1939, many birthdays are celebrated. Of course, that means that a cake is called for. Oh, David, it's not your birthday. Much fun and food is had by all. We have a magnificent luncheon twice a year to enjoy a meal and fellowship with our wives and husbands. This is all supplied through our donation box, which is placed on the table every Wednesday. Men and women with skills and a desire to join our Wednesday activities are always welcome. And if you have a particular skill related to building restoration, repair and maintenance, we would welcome your participation in our activities. Thank you for watching. This is Ralph Uphill for the Vogue Restoration Team.